On The Young and the Restless, tomorrow, Friday, August 15th, 2025, when the Newman brothers are out for Billy. We've got the photo spoilers of what's coming up. On The Young and the Restless, while most of Genoa City was in the French Riviera, Victor had some specific instructions for Adam to go after Billy in the press. But between Chelsea's pleading and Nick's agreeance, Adam relented. Now's a different story, though. Victor thinks the only way to offset Kane from going after their companies is to give the dog a new bone to chase, Jabot. Victor convinced Adam that Billy was working against them with Kane, but Chelsea wasn't so sure. She wasn't on board to go after Billy without concrete proof that he was working with Kane. But now that Adam and Nick confronted Billy at the coffee shop, he knows what's up. When Chelsea still balks at the idea, Adam tells her it's time to stop protecting him. But Chelsea's not the only one surprised at the Newman brothers working together for a common goal. Meanwhile, Billy does his own fact-finding. Victoria has usually managed to keep some sort of loyalty to Billy when it comes to her father. Will she tell him what she knows? As for Kane, he finally has Lily's attention, but will he tell her what she's hoping to hear? Let's see what's going to happen on tomorrow's episode. Billy visits Victoria at the tack house. Can she help him sort out his latest Newman issues? Adam and Chelsea run into Sharon and Nick at Crimson Lights. The last time they were there, they almost came to blows with Billy. Sharon sees a new side to Nick on Friday. Adam, Chelsea, and Sharon at Crimson Lights. Lily meets Kane on his train, determined to figure out what he's up to. Kane makes a promise to Lily. Does he tell her that he's going after all of the other companies but Winter's? Billy goes to see Adam and Chelsea, and things are tense. Chelsea still wants to play nice, but on Friday, Adam loses patience with Chelsea's loyalty to Billy. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. There's been a lot of death on The Young and the Restless as of late. Chance was killed in France while struggling with Carter. Back in Genoa City, Cole, played by J. Eddie Peck, succumbed to Legionnaire's disease. Soap Central spoke to Peck about Cole's fate and the possibility of someday coming back to the show. Death's a funny thing on The Young and the Restless. Veteran viewers recall a time when Cole mourned the death of his newborn daughter, Eve, who passed away shortly after her birth. Also, Chance believed his dad, Philip III, had died in the same hospital in which Eve had. Now, Philip and Eve are both alive and well. Philip had faked his death so he could move to Australia. Eve had been whisked away by her Aunt Jordan and raised as Clare. These days, it's Cole and Chance who are dead. Or are they? Soaps have a way of bringing folks back from that great soap opera in the sky. Floyd has a new gig over on Days of Our Lives as Chad DiMera. Watch for him to make his debut in 2026 due to the Peacock drama's advanced taping schedule. So it's not likely we'll see him back in Genoa City anytime soon. Peck, however, is another story. When Soap Central spoke to the fan favorite about his Y&R exit, he speculated that perhaps we haven't seen the last of him. I will never forget the late Bill Bell, creator, The Young and the Restless, having a long talk with me, and he always told me, "Eddie, I promise you, this character will come back," shared Peck, referring to Cole G, owing off to Oxford in 1999. Bell passed away in 2005, but Peck never let go of the idea of someday reprising Cole. He attended the show's 50th anniversary gala in March 2023, and a conversation was held around that time with executive producer, head writer Josh Griffith about Cole's return, which happened at the end of that year. I had never lost hope because Cole was still out here, Peck shares. Even now, I feel that Cole could come back in some form. Josh and the writers are very creative. Doing the Lazarus bit isn't anything new to Peck when it comes to his serial characters. I was brought back when I was on Kyle XY, Peck says of his time on the ABC Family series that starred Matt Dallas as Kyle. I think it was around episode 2. They had cremated my character, Adam Balin, and then they threw his ashes over into a gulch somewhere outside of Vancouver. It looked like he was gone, but the network liked me and brought me back for 10 more episodes. The Young and the Restless actor also met his TV demise as Roger Grimes, Alexis Carrington's ill-fated lover on Dynasty, as shown in the program's final year. They brought me back throughout the season in dreams, Peck remembers. Roger had been shot by Fallon when she was a little girl after she spied Roger attacking her mother, Alexis. Fallon was played by an adult by Emma Sams. Emma was just wonderful, Peck recalls. We struck up a nice friendship. It continued for a while after I left the show. Joan was wonderful too. No matter what happens in the future, Peck is grateful to Griffith and Y&R for his return, as Claire's true fate was revealed. I enjoyed it, and I'm so grateful for the call, and so grateful for Josh for keeping me on the canvas for as long as he did, says Peck, who adds that he was thankful to reconnect with so many old friends from Y&R while he was back in Genoa City. There's a handful of people there in the building who were there back in the day, the actor says, and I've rekindled a friendship with them. So, if Clare and Philip III can return from the dead on Y&R, perhaps Cole and Chance, too, can someday come back. The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, August 15th reveals Nick Newman will lean in to kiss Sharon Newman. Also coming up, Billy Abbott will confront Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman. Plus, Kane Ashby would give up all his plans for Lily Winters. Y&R spoilers tease Adam will tell Chelsea that Kane has been officially unmasked as Aristotle Dumas by Newman Media. She'll be excited until Adam says Billy's been mentioned as well. But she'll realize Billy put a target on his own back. Adam will high-five Chelsea, and Billy will walk in. "You two are celebrating already?" he'll ask. "You had to stick the knife in and give it a good twist? Congratulations!" But Adam will say Kane is the focus, and Billy's just a small part in it. "You're attacking his character, and it's going to come back to haunt all of us," Billy will reply. "This is a lot bigger than money, and you know it." Adam will tell him if he's that upset, he should put out a rebuttal on Abbott Communications. But of course, it hasn't even launched yet. Then Adam will remind Billy he lost Chancellor. "Did Jill not rip the company out from under you because you weren't up for the job?" Adam will add. "Because you're never up for the job," Chelsea will interject and tell her boyfriend that's enough. Billy will leave and head to the tack house to see Victoria Newman. He'll ask her how she's doing, and they'll talk about Cole Howard. Victoria will say she's glad she was with Cole at the end. And now she's also grateful for Billy's support. At Crimson Lights, Sharon will talk to Nick about how Mariah Copeland has been shutting her out. She wants to help her, but she's trying to be patient. Nick will say he has something that might cheer her up. He's been assigned to buddy up to Kane. Sharon will say it doesn't sound like a good idea. "Is Victor really that worried about what Kane might do?" she'll ask. Nick will say he's extremely worried. Sharon will ask why he always has to be on the front lines. Nick will say he's doing this for her too, Cassidy. "First could also be a target. I hadn't considered that," she'll reply. Then she'll tell Nick she feels closer to him than she has for a long time. She'll ask if he feels the same way. "I guess I could tell you," he'll reply. "Or I could just show you." Nick will lean in for a kiss, just as Chelsea and Adam walk in. Chelsea and Adam's eyes will widen, and Nick will tell Adam their father wants him to cozy up to Kane. After Nick leaves, Adam will mention to Sharon that she and Nick seem closer, and she'll admit it's true. "Just don't let him hurt you again," he'll tell her. In Kane's choo-choo train, he'll tell Lily the only company in town he wants is Chancellor, but she won't buy it. "You're hiding something bigger." Lily will demand that he tell her everything, or she'll tell their kids the whole truth. Kane will offer to tell her his plans after they meet with their kids. "No, no deal," she'll reply. He'll bring up their past, and Lily will ask why he won't give up on the fantasy of them getting back together. "I've never stopped loving you," he'll reply. So, Lily will ask how far he'd go to get her back. "I would abandon my entire plan. I would absolutely give everything up for you." Then their phones will ping with the Newman Media article. Lily will say now Maddie and Charlie are going to find out about him online, and they'll be furious. Kane will say he needs her help to do damage control. "You said you were willing to call off everything for me," she'll reply. "Then do it, and I'll help you smooth things over with the kids." But he won't get a chance to answer because Nick will walk in. Kane will be angry, asking if he's there to rub it in. Nick will say no, he's there to apologize. Is this some kind of joke? Kane will ask. However, Nick will say Adam jumped the gun on the expose. I think it's counterproductive for our families to be at each other's throats. He'll ask Kane if he'd be interested in meeting for a drink sometime, and he'll say yes. Finally, Nick will head out, and Lily's phone will ring. It's their daughter. What matters most to you? She'll ask Kane. Hanging on to your agenda or having me help you tell the kids why you've been lying to them for 6 years? Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young. And the restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless preview for the week of August 18th reveals Nate Hastings will learn disturbing news from Clare Newman. Also coming up, Chelsea Lawson will be surprised by Billy Abbott. Plus, Holden Novak will make a bizarre accusation against Daniel Romalotti. Y&R spoilers tease Billy. And Sally Spectra will approach Chelsea at the jazz club. Of course, Chelsea will ask him how it's going with Abbott Communications and if he plans to launch the company soon. But she'll be surprised when Billy tells her Sally's now in charge. So, if Sally is leading your new company, where does that leave you? Chelsea asks in the Y&R weekly preview. Billy will reply that he has exciting news of his own and he'll enlighten her very soon. Sure, Billy. Meanwhile, Holden will end up at Society's bar, having a drink with Daniel. And it seems Daniel will ask him a bunch of questions, because Holden will feel uncomfortable and he'll lash out. Are you digging for dirt on me? He'll angrily ask Daniel, who will say no and try to explain himself. Did Kane put you up to this? Holden will add. Finally, Clare will approach Nate and say she needs to talk to him and it's important. Okay, what's it about? He'll ask. Clare will say it's about Audra Charles. There's something you need to know about the kind of person she really is, she'll add. So, will Clare tell him everything? Could this be the end for Nate and Audra? Hey Y&R fans, are you enjoying the new CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young and the restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Genoa City continues to churn with its familiar rhythm of backroom deals and long-held vendettas. But for Phyllis Summers, the landscape has become a minefield. The shadow of Martin's clinic, a place of clinical cruelty that fractured her psyche, looms large. Though she has fought to move forward, believing momentum alone could heal her, the past has a way of reasserting its grip. The city, and the ghosts within it, know exactly where to apply pressure. Enter Kane, arriving with a proposition dressed as a lifeline. He presented a plan for an elegant rebalancing of power in Genoa City, a symphony of subtle pressures designed to make the old dynasties crumble. He framed it as a city-wide reboot and, for Phyllis, a path to redemption. He offered her the chance to be the architect of the city's next chapter, not the woman the clinic tried to break. While most heard audacity, Phyllis heard an escape from her looped trauma. Her son, Daniel, saw through the facade immediately. He recognized Kane's choreography of manipulation. Isolate the target with praise, define dissent as disloyalty, and build a perfect escape route while assigning all the risk to someone else. He warned Phyllis that Kane was not offering safety, but a more sophisticated cage, one calibrated to use her trauma against her. The plan, he explained, was a technical marvel of deception, designed so that when it inevitably failed, every digital fingerprint would point directly to her. Daniel's fears proved prophetic. Phyllis soon discovered the terrifying truth. Kane had constructed a digital labyrinth with her at its center, a trap tailored with the intimacy of a bespoke suit, designed to make her the sole scapegoat. Realizing she was being set up, Phyllis refused to be a victim twice. Instead of running, she devised a counterplan to be executed at the Chancellor Winters launch event, the very stage Kane intended for his triumph. During the glittering launch, Phyllis, moving like a ghost in the machine, orchestrated a small but significant system catastrophe. The public hiccup created a window of chaos, allowing her to inject a mirror of the system's command logs into the network. In a heart-stopping moment, Daniel passed a hardware key containing this damning evidence to Chance. The data didn't immediately exonerate Phyllis, but it shattered Kane's carefully constructed narrative. It revealed pre-staged authorizations and, crucially, a digital breadcrumb leading back to Martin's clinic, now operating as an innocuous archiving firm. The investigation has now widened, shifting from a simple case against Phyllis to a complex web of corporate espionage. Phyllis has been questioned, but with the evidence now pointing in multiple directions, the law's direct answer to her fate is a suspenseful, "Not yet." The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, August 18th, reveal that Lily Winters will get Kane Ashby's answer, while Holden Novak suspects a dirt digger. There'll be some risky moves happening in Genoa City, so let's talk about what's ahead on Y&R. For starters, Kane will feel backed into a corner and will be forced to give Lily the answer she's waiting for. Lily wants Kane to give up his shady corporate agenda in exchange for help smoothing things over with the kids, now that he's been outed as Aristotle Dumas. Will Kane surrender to Lily's demand? Even if Kane claims that's what he's going to do, he can't be trusted at this point. Kane might tell Lily what she wants to hear and move forward with his plans anyway. It's also possible Kane will veto Lily's deal and insist the only way he'll abandon everything is for a full-blown reunion. Of course, Lily may end up helping Kane do damage control, regardless of the answer he gives. Maddie Ashby and Charlie Ashby's well-being is more important than anything else, so Lily may help Kane with the twins no matter what in the end. Whatever the case, Kane definitely won't give up hope when it comes to winning Lily's heart again and putting their family back together. Over with Holden, he'll have a tense discussion with Daniel Romalotti Jr. at Society's bar. Daniel will seem suspicious of Holden as he starts asking way too many questions. Holden will quickly start to feel like he's under interrogation, so he'll worry that Daniel has been sent to dig for dirt. Since Lily warned Holden not to trust Kane, he'll demand to know if Kane put Daniel up to grilling him. Some hostility will threaten to erupt, but Daniel may try to settle Holden down in the end. Perhaps Daniel will admit he's got his guard up regarding Kane instead, and point out this is really about protecting his mom. Since Phyllis Summers is tangled up in Kane's mess, Daniel will feel the need to look out for her and gather all the information he can. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Daniel will seek more Kane updates and fret over the alarming news that's inevitably brewing for Phyllis. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, August 15th remind viewers that Adam and Chelsea's reunion never made sense and that neither has had anything interesting to do since then. Is that about to change? Victor gave Adam his marching orders. "Go forth, son, and destroy the person who annoys me at the moment. That would be Billy Boy Abbott. If you don't, Adam, then I, your loving father, who loves all his children equally and would do anything for any of them, will stop loving you, for your own good." Adam was ready to get with the program, until Chelsea stepped up. Chelsea feels so bad that she dumped Billy for Adam. She is convinced that Billy is heartbroken and devastated, and honestly, he'll probably never get over it. That's why Chelsea is being magnanimous and asking, demanding, that Adam not go after Billy. He agreed, while Victor was out of town. Now that Daddy is back, Adam knows what he needs to do, which is why the next time Chelsea brings up poor Billy, Adam isn't feeling it. Nick has also been ordered by Victor to go after Billy. They nearly came to blows while Nick and Adam were getting coffee and plotting strategy, and Nick shows no signs of cooling down since. This upsets Sharon. She thought she'd seen every possible side of her many times ex-husband. So what's this new one? Lily has made it clear to Kane that they are, to quote Taylor Swift, never, ever getting back together. Kane doesn't know how to take no for an answer, so Kane makes another heartfelt promise to Lily, which she could not care less about. "She's just not that into you, man." The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Victor Newman and Nikki Newman could be gearing up for their final split, so will their marriage fail over Jack Abbott? Nikki puts up with a lot when it comes to Victor, who always thinks he knows best when it comes to controlling his family. Victor and Nikki have already been at odds lately over his fixation on tearing Clare Newman and Kyle Abbott apart. Of course, Victor also wasn't happy about Nikki nearly sacrificing Chancellor for Nick Newman's freedom in Nice. The fact that Nikki almost surrendered the company to Kane Ashby was a huge deal to Victor. Although Victor ultimately didn't blame Nikki for risking Chancellor to save one of their kids, he obviously thought Nikki was being impulsive and not playing it smart. However, it's another familiar issue that could really wreak havoc in Nikki and Victor's marriage in the coming weeks on Y&R. Now that Victor wants to establish an alliance with Kane and help him take over Djibouti, Nikki definitely isn't on board with going after Jack. Jack may be Victor's #1 enemy, but he's a close friend of Nikki's and someone she's always going to look out for. Since Jack got Nikki into rehab and may have saved her life in the process, she'll be forever grateful for that. Unfortunately, Victor doesn't have the same view at all, and still holds a grudge over the extremes Jack went to that night with Nikki. Jack and Victor have a long history as bitter rivals that Victor isn't going to forget anytime soon. That's why Victor has no qualms about targeting Jack's family company. In fact, Victor considers it a bonus on top of distracting Kane from Chancellor and Newman Enterprises. Since Victor made it clear they'd have a problem if Nikki pushed back on this, they're indeed going to have a problem. There's no chance Nikki will just stand by and let Jack lose Djibouti without doing something about it. Nikki could make quite a mess of Victor's plans by warning Jack about things along the way. If Nikki manages to sabotage Victor's goals for Jack's sake, it could be enough to destroy their marriage. On the flip side, Victor may make some dirty moves that Nikki can't stop and infuriate her in the process. Nikki and Victor could be headed for a divorce if this pushes them to their breaking point. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some betrayals are brewing on both sides, so stay tuned for news ahead for Victor and Nikki's relationship. Genoa City, IL. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Clare Newman is about to shatter Audra Charles' carefully constructed facade, choosing the most vulnerable of moments to expose a devastating truth. With Nate Hastings already reeling from the death of his brother Damien, Clare orchestrates a quiet but powerful confrontation, determined to free him from Audra's web of manipulation before it's too late. Clare's motives are not born of simple jealousy, but of a painful understanding of Audra's methods. She knows that Audra thrives on chaos and deception, and she has meticulously gathered the evidence to prove it. Her investigation uncovers not just a clandestine affair with Kyle Abbott, complete with hotel bills and security footage, but a far more sinister alliance. Clare reveals to Nate that Audra's actions are part of a calculated power play, a conspiracy coordinated with none other than Victor Newman to secure her position within the company. For Nate, the realization is a cold awakening. He wasn't just betrayed by a lover, he was used as a pawn in a high-stakes corporate game. Armed with this irrefutable proof, Clare corners Nate and lays out the timeline of deceit. When Nate finally confronts Audra, her usual arsenal of seductive excuses and tearful apologies fails. The magic is gone. He sees her not as a partner, but as a strategist who used his grief as an opportunity. While this doesn't bring Clare a sense of victory, it delivers a long-overdue dose of justice, leaving Audra to face the loneliness of her own ambition. As one chapter of Nate's life closes in betrayal, another may be opening through shared sorrow. Across town, Victoria Newman is navigating her own profound loss following the shocking death of Cole Howard. Her dreams of a second chance at a happy family have been abruptly erased, leaving her in a state of quiet shock. In this difficult time, Nate emerges as an unexpected source of steady, unassuming support. Having just escaped Audra's transactional and performative affection, Nate is drawn to Victoria's raw, honest grief. He offers his presence without expectation, a warm cup of coffee, a silent walk, or a professionally managed schedule to give her space to breathe. Their connection is not a whirlwind romance, but a slow-forming bond built on mutual respect and a deep understanding of loss. For Victoria, Nate's quiet strength is a grounding force, while for Nate, Victoria's resilience is a reminder of the integrity he has been missing. This burgeoning relationship is fraught with peril. In the shark-infested waters of Newman Enterprises, any hint of romance could be perceived as a power move or a weakness to be exploited. Both acutely aware of the risks, they agree to move slowly, creating a foundation of trust away from prying eyes. Yet in Genoa City, secrets never last. As Audra schemes for revenge, and Victor watches their every move, Nate and Victoria's fragile bond will be put to the ultimate test. Can two wounded souls find genuine healing, or are they simply setting the stage for the next great Newman scandal? Young and the Restless sees Audra Charles with no funding for her company Vibrante. It's not like the Newmans or the Abbotts are going to help her out, but there is a new mogul in town, Kane Ashby, that she's already spoken to, so I'm wondering if Audra is going to hit Kane up for some funding. We're going to talk about how Audra may soon be pitching Kane to make a deal. She needs help to get her life back on track. It's all about to blow up very soon. It is just going to fall apart for her in so many ways. Right now, we've got Clare Grace Newman ready to go nuclear and blow up Audra's life. She is furious about Audra trying to split up her and Kyle Abbott for a payday from Victor Newman. Meanwhile, Audra is still looking for a way to break up Kyle and Clare. I kind of think Audra's hoping to make it happen. Then, run back to Victor with her hand out for investment capital so she can finally start Vibrante. She might say, "Oh, I know you said it was over, but look, here's what I did." What's crazy is Audra seems to think she can do all this and also keep Nate Hastings. That seems like a fool's game to me. Audra has pushed Clare over the edge. Now Clare is determined to tell Nate everything that Audra has been up to. Clare's going to spill it all. How Audra made a deal with Victor to split up Clare and Kyle in exchange for money. I don't think Nate is going to doubt what Clare says. He's been suspicious of Audra's involvement with Victor from the very start. So, I bet it will all make perfect sense to Nate when Clare fills him in on everything. Things are going to go badly for Audra from there. Audra already knows that Clare plans to blab to Nate. While she was talking to herself, Audra declared war on Clare. However, I suspect Audra's going to lose the battle in the war. Clare put her own grandma on a vodka IV. Imagine what she might do to Audra for messing with Kyle. I don't think Audra knows who she's messing with when she tries to mess up Clare's life. Audra and Nate definitely seem doomed to fail because of her lies. Of course, Audra's going to try to blame everything on Kyle. But after Nate hears everything Clare and Kyle have to say, I just don't see Nate believing anything Audra says. Since Victoria Newman just tore into Victor and told him to stop playing these games, or he's going to lose Clare, he may confirm to Nate that Audra came to him begging for money. Victor may also admit that Audra jumped at the chance to seduce Kyle away from Clare. In the end, Victor cannot stand Audra, so he would rat her out in a heartbeat. I'm confident that, bottom line, Audra is going to lose absolutely everything. Nate, Vibrante, and any respect anyone in Genoa City had for her, except Sally Spectra. I do suspect that Sally will stand by her friend Audra, but other than Sally, everybody hates Audra. The Winters, the Abbotts, and the Newmans. Audra is a scrapper. I don't think she's going to give up on her dream of Vibrante. That's where I think Kane might come into this. Once Audra loses Nate, which we expect is going to happen, it would be kind of funny to see Audra try and suck up to Kane, both personally and professionally. That's kind of what Phyllis Summers has been doing. She's got it in her mind that Kane is her ticket to corporate superstardom and getting revenge on all her enemies. I also think Phyllis has an eye on Kane as a potential romantic interest. We all know Audra has a history of chasing rich men. That's pretty much all she pursues. She was with Tucker McCall. Nate's got lots of family money, and he was a surgeon. She was also with Kyle, whose legacy is family money. The only guy she's been with that wasn't super rich was Holden Novak. Audra didn't stick around for too long with him. Plus, Audra already approached Kane in France. That was about the perfume war with Kyle, and Kane did seem interested. Of course, if she comes at him after all this, it would be Audra solo and without Kyle. If she's pitching herself to Kane, I'm sure Audra could impress him with her business skills and some other skills that Victor was using her for. If Audra started trying to cozy up to Kane, it would drive Phyllis absolutely crazy because she's been flirting with Kane since day one. Audra is hot. She's a few years younger than Phyllis. She's also somebody that Phyllis hates, Since Audra was the one that Kyle ran to literally 5 minutes after breaking up with Phyllis's daughter Summer Newman, we know Phyllis has despised Audra for quite some time now on Young and the Restless. Phyllis would be super annoyed if Kane brought Audra into the alliance he's forming. Then again, Phyllis didn't want Billy Abbott as part of the partnership, yet there he is. Speaking of Billy, I wonder how he'd feel about Audra coming on board. He may not like the fact she was targeting his nephew Kyle. But other than that, Billy may not care that much. In fact, there's a chance he might be slightly more open to it because Audra is BFFs with his girlfriend Sally. Then again, maybe not. In a brand new interview with Soap Digest, actor Jason Thompson said, "Billy is going to quickly realize he cannot trust Kane or anybody working with Kane. Right now, that includes Phyllis, includes Holden, and might also include Audra. If Audra approaches Kane and he takes the deal, they're both town pariahs. Audra is gorgeous, with a banging body. Lily Winters shows up to talk to Kane this week and makes it very clear. We are never reuniting. It's crystal clear. I think Kane's starting to get the picture. He's promised her he won't pursue her. So, I could see him investing with Audra or putting her to work for him. Maybe dating her to rub it in Lily's face that he's with Nate's hot ex. Once Kane finds out Victor did Audra dirty, that might actually convince Kane even more to work with Audra. Kane may figure out quickly that Audra's the kind of woman who can be as ruthless as he is. She also has the same enemies he does. I kind of see a potential for Kane and Audra to be a match made in hell who could terrorize the whole town. It's not too long before Audra's dirty deals blow up in her face and Nate ditches her. Vibrante's already dead in the water. The only job prospect she has right now is with Sally. But Billy might tell his gal pals she can't hire Audra because she's too dodgy. I will say, if Kane partners up with Audra, she is a lot more stable than Phyllis, who's just a whirlwind of insanity. But I would also hate to see Audra join the screech fest that we're already subjected to whenever Phyllis and Billy are in the same room. Hopefully, Kane's got a big bottle of Advil on his fancy choo-choo train because his life is turning into a 3-ring circus. He's surrounded by intolerant people who like to tear each other apart. Audra might be the next clown who signs up for his circus. But I do like her. I think she's going to be scrappy and land on her feet. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Friday, August 15th, reveal that Sharon Newman will face a Nick Newman shocker, while Chelsea Lawson pushes Adam Newman too far. At Crimson Lights, Nick will join Sharon and perhaps come clean about serving as Victor Newman's recruit. Victor wants Nick to become Kane Ashby's buddy and convince him that the Newmans think he's a force to be reckoned with. Of course, Nick still despises Kane, but he'll be willing to put on a show for the sake of protecting his family. The goal is to distract Kane from Chancellor and help him go after Jabot instead, so Sharon may be a little taken aback by that planned outcome. Jack Abbott is a good man and a friend of Sharon's, so she won't be thrilled about his family business being a target. The fact that Nick's willing to sacrifice the Abbotts for the Newmans could unsettle Sharon a bit. Y&R spoilers say Sharon will indeed witness a surprising side of Nick, so she may not approve once she gets updates on his latest news. Meanwhile, Adam won't approve of Chelsea's behavior either, since she'll continue to be Billy Abbott's defender. It'll frustrate Adam, so he'll lash out after Chelsea pushes him too far. Adam will think Chelsea needs to fully join Team Newman and stop pretending Billy is some innocent party. However, things are complicated when it comes to Billy, who intends on being an inside man and protecting Jabot from Kane if all goes well. At some point, Adam and Chelsea will run into Nick and Sharon at the coffee house, so Kane and Billy will no doubt come up during that conversation. Finally, Kane will make a vow to Lily Winters, who'll wait for his answer about the deal she's proposing. Lily's willing to help tell the twins about his double life, but she wants Kane to tell her the whole truth about his return to Genoa City in exchange. Even if Kane doesn't make a full confession now, the Young and the Restless spoilers say he'll make a powerful promise and try to earn Lily's trust. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that we have to ask, should Y&R free Sally Spectra from Billy Abbott and end this romance that's dragging her down? Let's face it, Billy and Sally haven't been portrayed as a madly in love couple. Every time Sally and Billy are on screen, They're usually finding ways to bicker about business, Kane Ashby, or any other issue of the day. Everything is always such a chore when it comes to these two. So are Billy and Sally even getting much enjoyment out of their relationship anymore? Sally walked away from her successful fashion career to join Billy at Abbott Communications, but he bailed on that to focus on his chancellor pursuit. Billy put it in writing that Sally could run the media company if he got control of Chancellor, but he recently decided she's right about her going ahead and running Abbott Communications now. That's good news since the company would probably flop with distracted Billy in charge. Billy can never concentrate on one thing for too long, and that includes Sally, since she never gets much of his attention. Since Billy is a terrible boyfriend, we have to believe Sally could do a lot better. Sally hasn't proven lucky in love so far on the CBS soap, but there's still time for her to turn things around. That could happen if Y&R decides to free Sally from her pairing with Billy and let her fall for somebody else instead. There's surely a better option out there for Sally, whether it be someone already on canvas or a new guy who hits Genoa City. We wouldn't mind watching Sally ditch this Abbott Communications nonsense and get back into fashion too. Running a media company just isn't Sally's passion, so she might remember that and shift gears sooner or later. Sally could use a total life overhaul when it comes to her career and romantic future, so maybe all that could start with a Billy split. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally could be forced to make some tough choices as new Billy problems pop up, so we'll bring you updates on any breakup drama that might be brewing. Plus, what's going on with Adam and Chelsea? For the Friday, August 15th episode of The Young and the Restless, spoiler photos focus on Kane's continued conversation with Lily while on his personal train. Plus, Sharon and Nick catch up over beverages at Crimson Lights. If the Y&R teasers are any indication, Billy will be the source of conflict between Adam and Chelsea, so look for the Abbott to potentially cause trouble for the couple. Meanwhile, Billy's trying to figure out how to get Chancellor and not be the guy to help Kane bring down Jabot. Sharon and Nick are navigating life post-kiss. At Crimson Lights, things look slightly intense between the two, which means they could be talking about Nice, their kiss, and attempting to define what's next for their relationship. Or maybe Sharon is venting to Nick about what's going on with Mariah. This image shows a distance between Kane and Lily. One is even sitting down while the other is standing. It feels like they may be on different pages now, but how much longer will that last? As far as Lily's concerned, it would last forever, but who knows? She is determined to get close to Kane and discover intel on his agenda for Genoa City's corporate community, so their relationship could evolve or thaw even. Since reuniting, things between Chelsea and Adam have been smooth sailing. However, there are two major issues plaguing the couple professionally: Victor and Billy. Specifically, Victor's orders to weaponize Newman media against Billy, and Chelsea's insistence that Adam defy his father's orders. She has continually chosen to protect Billy. Well, her loyalty to her ex is about to become a major bone of contention. So, Chelsea's smile in the second photo may not last. Finally, look for Adam and Chelsea to run into Sharon and Nick at Crimson Lights. The Newmans as a whole are actually getting along, even Adam, so this shouldn't be a contentious situation. It's the Newmans versus the world these days, after all. In addition, Adam and Chelsea get some alone time with Sharon. Is Nick the topic of their conversation? Business rivals could team up to thwart Kane's plans. A new business war is looming on the Young and the Restless. Since his return, Kane's made it clear he wants to take over all of Genoa City's companies. However, he's got a huge fight on his hands. Kane's plan to take over the Genoa City business district is putting many companies at risk. Jabot, Newman Enterprises, and Chancellor are in danger of closing. Although Victor, Jack, and many others have vowed to stop Kane, they have a tough battle. Kane's now a big billionaire and power player, so the odds are in his favor. On a soap opera message board, Y&R fans suggested the possibility of Genoa City's companies teaming up. Wouldn't it be a great twist to see Billy Boy decide to walk away from Kane and go directly to Jack, and even Victor with Kane's plot and all those companies stand together to take down Kane? Wrote one user. I can most definitely get on board with this, because I don't like Kane's plans to take over family companies, just so that he can have all that power in GC. one viewer replied. However, one fan says there's a problem with the plan. Absolutely no way will Victor and Jack ever work together. Victor hates Jack and would turn on him in a second. Having them all work together is a fantasy. Genoa City's companies working together to take down Kane would be a shocking twist, yet it would require longtime business rivals to team up. While the Winters family might be open to working with Victor, the same can't be said for Jack. Given the two men's history, it's unlikely they'd ever team up. But with Jabode and Newman at risk, will the two put their differences aside for a greater cause?